Welcome to Whispering Archives, where history doesn't just speak, it whispers across the centuries. Have you ever heard a name so chilling it sticks with you? Some buildings don't need elaborate horror stories to send a shiver down your spine. Their names alone are enough. They carry a weight, a history, and a fear that has been etched into their very foundations. Today, we're exploring buildings whose names were born from fear, tragedy, and the unexplainable. These aren't just labels, they're echoes of the past, whispered by locals and passed down through generations. From towers that stand like concrete ghosts to houses that seemingly defy their own creation, join us as we uncover the stories behind the world's most unnervingly named structures. Get ready, because some names are more than just words, they're warnings. First stop, Thailand, and the infamous ghost building. Officially known as the Sathorn Unique Tower, this colossal structure pierces the Bangkok skyline, a monument to ambition and financial ruin. Construction began in the booming 1990s, destined to be a luxury condominium complex. But the 1997 Asian financial crisis hit, and work abruptly stopped. Today, it stands frozen in time, a 49-story concrete skeleton. Its balconies are exposed, its interiors are hollow, and its windows are dark, empty as staring out over the bustling city below. Locals began calling it the ghost building not because of hauntings, but because of its very presence, a massive, lifeless shell that is everywhere and nowhere at once. It's a constant, silent reminder of what could have been, a ghost made of concrete and rebar, haunting the city's modern landscape. Its emptiness is what makes it so terrifying. From a single ghost building, we now travel to entire ghost cities in China. Imagine sprawling urban landscapes, complete with skyscrapers, public squares, shopping malls, and pristine roads, but with one crucial element missing: people. These are China's so-called ghost cities. Built during a massive real estate boom, these cities were designed to house millions. But for various reasons, high costs, remote locations, or economic downturns, they remained largely uninhabited. Places like Ordo's Kangbashi were filled with architectural marvels but echoed with an eerie silence. The term ghost city wasn't an official designation, it was a nickname that emerged in international media and among urban explorers to describe the surreal emptiness. The name itself became more famous than the places it described, capturing a modern kind of desolation where progress outpaces population, leaving behind cities that were born but never truly lived. Next, we head to Scotland, to a place known as the House That Refused to Be Built. This isn't an official name you'll find on any map. It's a local legend tied to a specific piece of land, a story whispered in pubs and around firesides. According to the tale, numerous attempts were made to construct a house on this particular plot. Each time, something went disastrously wrong. Tools would vanish, foundations would crack for no reason, and strange, inexplicable accidents would plague the workers. Eventually, after repeated failures and mounting losses, the project was abandoned for good. Locals began to say the land itself was resisting, that it simply refused to be tamed or built upon. The nickname, the House That Refused to Be Built, isn't about a structure that exists, but one that could never be, a testament to a struggle between human will and something far older and more stubborn. Now let's go to Russia, to a building that earned the ominous title of the Cursed Building. This isn't a place from an ancient folktale but a modern office block with a strangely unfortunate history. Over the years, numerous companies moved into this particular building with high hopes, only to face sudden and inexplicable failure. Businesses that were thriving would collapse, startups would fold, and established firms would suffer devastating financial losses. There was no logical explanation. The location was good, the facilities were modern, yet the pattern continued. As the stories piled up, people in the local community started calling it the Cursed Building. The name wasn't a literal claim of supernatural forces, but a symbolic warning, a way to make sense of the inexplicable string of bad luck. It became a label of caution, a reputation that eventually made it difficult to attract new tenants. Our journey continues to South Korea, to a tower that acquired a tragic nickname from the public. While we won't delve into the specific details out of respect, this prominent structure became associated with a series of heartbreaking incidents. Over time, the public began to refer to it by a somber nickname that reflected this painful history. It was never an official title, of course, but a name that grew organically from shared grief and public consciousness. This is a sensitive topic, and it reminds us that some names aren't meant to be scary or thrilling. They are born from real sorrow and serve as a solemn caution. They carry the weight of memory and act as a public marker of tragedy, a reminder for the community to be mindful and look out for one another. It's a powerful example of how a name can become a form of collective remembrance. Prepare yourself, because our next stop is the Sedlec Ossuary in the Czech Republic, known globally by a much more visceral name, the Bone Church. From the outside, it's a modest medieval Gothic chapel. But step inside, and you enter a macabre masterpiece. The decorations are made entirely from human bones, the skeletons of an estimated 40,000 to 70,000 people. You'll find a massive chandelier containing at least one of every bone in the human body, garlands of skulls draping the vaults, and pyramids of bones stacked in the corners. This isn't a modern art installation, it's a centuries-old arrangement, a stark and unforgettable memento mori, a reminder of mortality. While its official name is the Sedlec Ossuary, the nickname the Bone Church perfectly captures the shocking and awe-inspiring sight within, making it one of the most uniquely named and visited sites in the world. From bones to a skull, we now travel to France, to what's known as the Skull House. This isn't a haunted mansion but a striking piece of art and architecture. Designed by the artist Joel Penkman, this house is literally shaped like a giant human skull. The gaping mouth serves as the entrance, and the dark, hollow eye sockets are the windows looking out onto the world. The design is deliberately unsettling, meant to confront visitors with themes of life, death, and human vanity. It's not a place where people live, but an installation that provokes a reaction. The nickname the Skull House is not a formal title but a simple, direct description of what you see. It's a name that perfectly conveys the feeling of the structure. It's bold, it's a bit morbid, and it's absolutely unforgettable. The name is the art, and the art is the name. Next, we visit India, to a building that earned the awe-inspiring title of the Immortal House. This isn't a palace of gods, but a humble-looking structure that has withstood unimaginable trials. Over its long history, it has survived devastating fires that consumed neighboring buildings, it has stood firm against powerful floods that washed away everything around it, and it has endured partial collapses that should have brought it down entirely. Yet, through it all, it remains standing. It's a story of incredible resilience. Fascinated visitors and locals, witnessing its uncanny ability to survive against all odds, began calling it the Immortal House. The name isn't based on myth or magic, but on a documented history of endurance. It's a title born of respect and wonder for a building that simply refuses to fall, a symbol of permanence in a constantly changing world. Our journey takes us to Georgia, to a structure that locals call the Gallows Building. Looking at this unique piece of architecture, you can immediately see why. Parts of the building seem to hang precariously in the air, suspended from a larger frame in a way that looks both futuristic and slightly unnerving. The suspended elements create a visual effect reminiscent of a gallows, where something is hanging from a beam. The name is also tied to old local legends about executions that took place in the area long ago, adding a historical layer of darkness to the modern design. The nickname Gallows Building isn't official, but it's what the locals use, capturing both the striking visual appearance and the faint, dark echo of the past. It's a name that makes you look twice and wonder about the stories hidden within its design. Finally, the concept of the hanged building isn't unique to just one place. Around the world, you'll find multiple structures that have earned this unsettling nickname. These are often buildings with cantilevered sections that jut out dramatically, or with parts suspended by cables, creating the illusion that a piece of the building is hanging in midair. In many cases, these designs are architectural marvels, intended to be innovative and eye-catching. However, to the public, they can evoke a more primal, unsettling feeling, the image of being punished or suspended. The nickname hanged building is almost always symbolic, a colloquial term used by locals to describe a feeling rather than a fact. It's a powerful reminder that no matter how brilliant a design is, its name is often decided by the people who see it every day. From a concrete ghost in Bangkok to a church made of bones, these buildings show us that a name is never just a name. It's a story, a feeling, a warning, or a legacy. Some structures are remembered for their beautiful design or historical significance, but others are remembered for the fear, wonder, or sorrow their names evoke. Because sometimes, a name is the most powerful way we have to capture a feeling that words alone cannot fully explain. It's the whisper of history that sticks with us long after we've walked away. Thanks for joining us on this journey through the world's most chillingly named places. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more stories from the Whispering Archives.